So welcome everybody to our How To Tuesday Alternatives to Wikipedia. I'm so excited to bring you guys a presentation that's all about how to find information, background information on your research topic or on different things you want to learn about without having to go to Wikipedia. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about, what's wrong with Wikipedia? Why do we have alternatives? Why am I giving you guys this awesome alternative resource to utilize? Then we're going to talk about Gale eBooks. That is the alternative to Wikipedia that we are going to be discussing today. Gale eBooks is actually also previously called Gale Virtual Reference Center. So if you've ever heard that, it is the exact same thing. It's just all merged into one. Gale did some restructuring. So we're really excited to present that as a really viable option to Wikipedia. And we'll talk about that and kind of do a demo of how to go through and how to utilize that information. Then again, as always, as we do with every How To Tuesday, we will do some resources to help, including the link to this PowerPoint and the resources, and answer any questions you have in real time. So what's wrong with Wikipedia and why can't I use Wikipedia? Well, I'm not saying that you can't use Wikipedia. What is Wikipedia, though? I want to kind of dig in on that. What is Wikipedia? What can it be used for? And what is the intention of it, right? So as a little bit of a history lesson, let's put on our history hats, our history buffs anywhere out there, either watching this recording or on here. Wikipedia is actually called a Wikipedia. It's modeled after the encyclopedia, right? Many who have been around for a while may remember that there are libraries used to have big bound collections of encyclopedias, right? They would have each book would be a letter like A and then B and then C, or if you remember from your school library many moons ago, they likely had encyclopedias. And what are these? Similar to like a dictionary where you could look up a word and know the spelling and the origin and what this word means, definition, all of that. An encyclopedia was a bound book that gave you information about different concepts, right? This was a really revolutionary thing, right? Encyclopedias basically gave you the world at your fingertips. If you wanted to learn more about the state of Kansas, you could open up an encyclopedia, go to the entry for Kansas, and know what year was Kansas founded, who founded it, what impactful people have come from Kansas, etc., etc. But when we moved into more modern age, we became more familiar with technology and a lot of things started moving online. One key problem with encyclopedias, with printed encyclopedias, is the second they are printed, the second they are published, they're out of date, right? New things are happening every single day, different advancements, especially when we think about the digital age, when we think about the internet, when we think about, our social media platforms where things change a mile a minute. Printed encyclopedias just can't keep up, right? They can't keep up with the rapid changes of our society, of our culture, etc. So we moved away from those bound printed encyclopedias, and then we shifted to online encyclopedias. And Wikipedia, at its heart, is just an online encyclopedia. But instead of the scholars that used to create encyclopedias, right? Trained professionals, people who are experts in the field, used to write entries for encyclopedias that were verifiable and credible. Wikipedia kind of went a different direction. They said anyone can contribute. They wanted to crowdsource that information, which, on its head, it sounds like a great idea, right? We would think, oh, it would be awesome if we could create this really big encyclopedia online and everyone could contribute to it. But as we know, humanity is not always the most reliable, and even people with good intentions sometimes get it wrong. And of course, there are nefarious people out there trying to mess up Wikipedia pages, etc., right? So we know that Wikipedia can sometimes not be the most reliable, right? It may have flaws, it might have errors, etc., just because, there's a group collection of information. And while Wikipedia has come a long way, I think probably 10 years ago, Wikipedia had a lot of flaws, and there was no vetting system for who could add or edit information. There is still a better option. And the reason for that is because information on the internet is not always free. It is not always publicly available. A lot of times, if you're a student or if you're an instructor, you may have experienced this. In your quest to find information online, whether that's through Google or different search engines, you may come up against a paywall. What is a paywall? A paywall is when you're trying to find an article or you're trying to access something. Think of like the New York Times or a journal article that you found on Google. You click on it and it says, uh-oh, you got to pay for this. This is going to be $60 or, $5 a month or et cetera, et cetera. So while there is reputable information out there on Google and on even Wikipedia, a lot of times that information is hidden behind a paywall. And we know that as students, you guys don't have a lot of extra cash on you. And you're already paying for tuition here at Park. So we want to provide you a better option that, one, has better, more reliable information on it, more credible, more backed up information, and two, that you do not have to pay for, right? If you go into Wikipedia and you go into their references, a lot of that information is behind paywalls or is just not super reputable. Now, Wikipedia, again, does cite its sources. So you can take Wikipedia articles and use them as a basis, right? And say, oh, I'm going to go explore this topic. But there's a better option that will not cost you money, that has more reputable information, and that can help launch you into your research easier. So that's what I want to share with you. Gale eBooks is the platform that we utilize, and Gale eBooks is just as easy to use as Wikipedia. But instead of searching on wikipedia.com, you search on Gale eBooks. You can search anything from Kansas to mental health to, the profession of being a surgeon, whatever it is. You can search for so many different things and find reliable support and reliable information. Again, I'm not saying you can't use Wikipedia, but there's a better option that's going to get you more information faster and freer. And who doesn't like that, right? Faster and freer. So I want to kind of show you an example. I have searched for mental health on Wikipedia here, and you'll see Wikipedia, again, has gotten way better than it ever has been. And it has this little warning right here. It says, the examples and perspective in this article deal primarily with the United States, yada, yada, yada. There's lots of information. You can also see there's kind of a broad view. There's some blue text here, which means it's a hyperlink. So you could click on those and go visit another site. There's some footnotes. There's a 1 right here. There's a 2 right there. So you can see that there are some additional resources that Wikipedia is pointing to. But overall, this is kind of a balanced, overview of mental health. And it does give some citations and some resources for further study. But if you look on Gale eBooks, you can see that this entry about mental health is being pulled from the International Encyclopedia of Social Sciences, right? This is an ebook, it's published by Gale, and it has additional information on this topic. You can see when it was edited, or who edited it, who put it together. You can see when it was published. This is from 2008, etc., etc. And again, when we look at the references, the differences between Wikipedia and Gale eBooks, you can see in the references, there's an article from the CDC. That's probably pretty reputable, right? You can see there's something from the World Health Organization, but you'll see these ones. These are by a source from medlineplus.gov. Maybe that's a paywall. We don't know until we start clicking on it. If you see all of these green open like locks right here, that means that it's public access, but not all of those have them. So there's some journal articles that are being pointed to here that maybe are not accessible to you for free. And again, we want you to have access to information that doesn't cost money. So it's really important that you keep that in mind. Because you can get some more direct information through Gale eBooks. You can see that there's a bibliography here, and you can actually go in and find these resources that were used. You can also see that there's a source citation, so you can cite this, right? You can't cite Wikipedia, right? We don't know who the author is. It's all anonymous contribution. If your professor saw that you had a Wikipedia article in your paper, they would probably laugh, right? Wikipedia isn't something that we can really cite, but you can cite an encyclopedia. You can cite something on Gale eBooks. So this could be a source that you utilize in your research. You can see that there's different source citations. So you could do MLA, you could do APA, whatever source type or citation style that you are looking for. You can add this to your bibliography and pull information that is credible and reliable. You'll see here, they even use the American Psychiatric Association. So that's a real association. They're using the DSM-5, the DSM-4. So there's reputable information in here, and it directly points to where they're getting that information. So that's one of the reasons that we really enjoy and push students to use Gale eBooks. I know this is out of your comfort zone. I know that this is a new experience for you, but I would just like to challenge all the students who are here with us today, or maybe that are watching this back later, to just try Gale eBooks once and see if it helps you. Not only, again, can you cite that source, not only can you utilize those Wikipedia or those encyclopedia articles, it's going to help jumpstart your research project in a way that Wikipedia just can't. Wikipedia is going to shut it down, whereas Gale eBooks will launch your research journey on this topic. So I'm actually going to jump out of here, and I'm going to jump into our library homepage. If you're new to navigating our library homepage, you can just find us at library.park.edu. And you'll see here that we have lots of information up here on our homepage. Over on this left-hand side, I will just point out that we have upcoming events. So if you want to register for our next How To Tuesday, our next one will be in March, and it is about citations made easy with Zotero, which is an awesome citation manager. So just a little plug for our next How To Tuesday. But we have these tabs up at the top, and these are going to help guide you to wherever you're looking for. Gale eBooks is a database. Do not let that scare you. I promise it's just as easy as searching on Wikipedia, but it is located in our database section. So what I want you to do is go to databases here. And from there, you can either start pulling down subject matters or database types, or you can just click on the G for Gale eBooks. And you'll see it's the second entry right here. Again, we talked about it was previously called Gale Virtual Reference Library. It is now called Gale eBooks. It's the same database. If you've used one or the other, it's the exact same thing. So if I click on Gale eBooks here, it's going to push me into Gale's platform. And you can see that there's different titles that you could just browse. This is also a really great way to start brainstorming for a topic. If you don't know what you want to write about for your research paper, if you have a lot of freedom to explore different topics, this could be a really great way that you explore. If you're interested in, doing something about the LGBTQ plus community, you can click on this ebook and explore the different topics that are included in this book, right? If I'm just taking a look at that table of contents, You know, it's giving me all of this information about all the different chapters that are included in this book. Maybe I want to research the Illinois State Code of 1961. Maybe I want to research, the Hope Speech, whatever it is. Again, this can be a great way to find a different topic that you maybe have never explored before. I know a lot of students are like, I know I want to do something related to LGBTQ plus community, but I don't know exactly what. This is a great way to explore that. Again, utilizing an encyclopedia that can give you some background information. Again, I'm not going to Wikipedia, but instead going here and utilizing this and getting some background information that will give you some terms, some keywords that you could plug into our databases. You can plug those keywords into Pirate Search and again, continue your research. So that's a great way to do that. I would really highly recommend that for any students that maybe are exploring different topics. Okay, so I'm going to go back. You can see that there's lots of different titles here. These are all of our encyclopedias, but you don't actually have to go through and pick a specific person, or excuse me, a specific encyclopedia. You can just search just like you did in Wikipedia. So I'm going to search maybe for Kansas. How about that? I'm going to press search there, and you'll see that we have a bunch of results, right? The first one is just the Dictionary of American History. So Kansas, it's going to give me some just general information about Kansas. You can see here that there's some different information that it's tagged with on the search results page. The first one is the year it was published. This one is 2003, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. 2003 is not super recent, but has Kansas history changed? No, right? Kansas history is the same and it will always be the same because it happened in the past. So something from 2003 isn't actually a red flag here. When you're thinking about, well, what kind of time frame would I be looking for my information in? It's important that you keep in mind what your topic is. Because if you're studying something like social media, you would want the most up-to-date information that you can find. But for Kansas, it's probably fine, right? All right, so we're going to go into this one. And what it's doing here is it's pulling specific entries, exactly like Wikipedia. So when you click on this, you don't have to look through the entire American history encyclopedia. All you're looking through is the Kansas entry. It even tells you what page we're on. So we're on page 507 of the Dictionary of American History. Okay, again, that's the encyclopedia right there, Dictionary of American History. And then we're on page 507. And it's giving me some background information about Kansas, including that it is the geographic center of the 48 contiguous states of the United States. Great. So it also has some prehistory, what it was like in the glacial times, by 81, the people of Kansas, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And then if I keep scrolling down, it'll give me some more information. So right now it's telling me about Bleeding Kansas. That would be a great topic if you were taking a history class about the United States history, right? This again is going to give you some basic information about this topic, just like Wikipedia would. It's telling you about Kansas statehood, how it was built, yada, 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 the Dust Bowl, World War II, the modern era, etc. And again, it has a bibliography. So you can look at these different resources. And if you're like, oh, that would be a really interesting source, the History of Kansas Selected Readings, what you can do is you can pull that citation and put it into our citation search and see if we have access to that resource. That would be an excellent way to utilize this to jumpstart your research. Additionally, you could just jump into Pirate Search and say, okay, now I know I want to learn more about Bleeding Kansas, right? Let's go back up to that section here. And I know that it was, settlers that were like, most of the settlers in Kansas, which were Mennonites and Quakers, right? So maybe I'm really interested in how the Quakers were anti-slavery or the Mennonites were anti-slavery. Those are two key words I could pull out of this encyclopedia article and put into pirate search to then start my research. Again, the same thing you would be doing for Wikipedia, but with reputable and easy to find encyclopedia information. And again, like I said before, here is the source with MLA, APA, and Chicago and Harvard style. So you can actually cite this in your paper, which is going to be a huge resource for you. If I go back, I could even do a more advanced search. So I could do Bleeding Kansas and see if there are any other encyclopedias that mention Bleeding Kansas, the historical event. Oh my gosh, there is a whole, resource here, a whole encyclopedia entry on Bleeding Kansas in the Racial and Ethnic Relations in America Encyclopedia. That's awesome, or maybe it's an ebook. This again will give you more information. This is from page 219. It provides even more information that I got from that original Kansas encyclopedia. So again, this is a great way to jumpstart your research, to get reputable information and get that background information. Because if you know you want to do something about Kansas, but you don't know the specifics, it can be really hard to jump into research. And that's why I think a lot of our students jump into Wikipedia, right? Because you want to learn just like a little bit more about the topic. And that's a really good instinct. That's a great curiosity that I want you all to keep. But I want you instead to move over to Gale eBooks or Gale Virtual Reference Library, because that's going to give you more reputable information for free, and information that you can cite in your paper. It'll also help you jump into pirate search and utilize the information that you find there to better find more additional resources, whether those are newspapers or different journal articles, peer-reviewed resources, etc. And that's a great way, again, to start with that research cycle that we talk a lot about at the library. You're going to start with one topic and you're going to start developing it and developing it and developing it. And if you are doing the search here, there's all kinds of different filters and different things. Right now, I have 31 results, but when I just searched for Kansas, a lot of other results came up as well. So if you wanted to, you could filter your results the exact same way you would any other Gale database or EBSCO database as well. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Instead, we are going to, actually, I take that back. I'm going to talk a teeny bit more. I'm available for all students and all faculty. If you want to dive into this more, or you struggle to find additional resources, or if you are wanting to know more about Gale eBooks that we didn't cover here today, or you want someone to work with you side by side through this entire process, the resource I'm going to recommend to help today is actually on our homepage, library.park.edu. I have two resources for you. The first is the Chat with a Librarian feature. This is a 24/7 chat box service where real librarians, not a robot, not an automated response system, a real person can chat with you in real time, 24/7, 24 hours a day. We really feel passionate about this because we know that our students are all across every time zone. They're working during working hours and they're home working on homework in the evenings, and we want to be there to support you. So please do not hesitate to reach out to the chat box and get your questions answered. I'm also going to scroll down. I'm available to work with you individually via an appointment. If you're here in the Parkville campus, I'd love to meet with you in person. If you are a distance learner, we also can do it over Zoom. And this is a great way to get additional support. You can meet with me And you can select a date and a time to meet together. Additionally, if none of these times work for you, shoot me an email and I would be happy to find a time in the evenings or on a weekend where I could assist you via Zoom. Okay, now I'm for real going to stop talking, and I'm going to open it up to see if you guys have any questions for us, for the library or for me in particular. And then I will also put up my contact information if you have any questions that I can't answer today or that you want to privately discuss. I'm happy to do that as well. So I'll stop if there's any questions that you guys have. Great.
Camille, I had one question. This is Angela. It mentioned the levels. They were color coded, and I think there was a little bar or something on the right side that said, is that where I find what each one means?
Yes, so there's different levels of like reading comprehension levels. You'll see them denoted by a colored star, and there is a key on that right-hand side, level 1 through 4. Level 1 being the most basic reading comprehension level, and 4 being the most complicated or the most jargony level. And that applies to all of our ebooks as well.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions? Awesome. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Great. Well, we only have a couple people on here, so if there's no other questions, I'm so glad that you all joined me for, oh, awesome. Thanks, Mark. I'm so glad that you all joined me for How To Tuesday. Next month, again, we will be talking about citations and a citation manager called Zotero. This is an awesome software. If you do any kind of research, you need Zotero. It is awesome. So I'm going to do a walkthrough of how to access that, and I would love for you all to join me again for that. You can sign up at library.park.edu. Again, on that left-hand side, there's a calendar. You can register now for that How To Tuesday event. And if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to answer those. And otherwise, I will see you all next month. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.